So in 1983, I began to observe the ongoings and agenda with the New World Order. And for those that are in the know, understand that that system is part of the fallen agenda. So what I've been doing here on my channel has really very little to do with that as far as informing about that. My focus has been, if it's not obvious, on that which pertains to our own personal benefit of recovery of our energy, of who we are, the reason why we're here, and to get busy doing what we know to do once we know to do it. And to encourage that and to supply all that I'm able to do, be it that I'm working alone here and have been for years, and I had been in ministry close to 15 years prior to coming on, to the online experience. This online experience, speaking of which, has been quite the challenge because it's been the antithesis of what I've been used to in regard to working with people. Completely different etiquette, many degrees of separation. So it's been quite a challenge trying to figure out how to be effective. And I found myself having to work 3 to 4 times harder on this than I would if I was dealing with people directly. It's been quite counterproductive, and I put a great deal of energy into this channel. So my goal, if it hasn't been obvious based on my content, is to encourage, to help one another, to serve one another, so that we could fulfill our mission's purpose, working co-creatively with one another. And this is where I've been spending my time, because this is where the benefit is for us, not to focus on the phenomenon. However, be it that I have been observing here things lately, and I'm seeing how people are quite overwhelmed by it. I thought it was necessary for me to say something. It seems to be surrounding everything at this point. And let me just emphasize this before I actually give my 2 cents on this. Don't get caught up in the phenomenon. Okay? There's a whole lot to be said here in respect to this reality field and how much of an illusion it is and how it's been manipulated. These things I know these things as well as anybody. Trust me when I say this, or don't. It doesn't matter. I do know. It's not what I believe, it's what I know. My knowing is through my experiences and things being put to test over the years, and my ability to process that or those experiences and bring them into question, and over time be able to discern things for what it really is. And that's an ongoing process, really. So this is the main reason I would say that I focus on the things that I consider to be the most significant or important. Not getting caught up in all the phenomenon or the activity and all the drama that is taking place. But that being said, again, I'm brought to this place where I'm going to talk about it a little bit. This is all part of the agenda. Okay, the drone thing. Okay. What are they doing there? Well, I can say who they are. I know exactly the reason why they're there, so I can allude to that. I got to watch my P's and Q's here, folks. All right? I've been flying under the radar for a long time purposely so that I can do what I think is most beneficial. So this is the reason why I refrain from talking about these things. So, that being said, there's surveillance taking place, not in the way that you think. In other words, the technology that is being used is extremely advanced. This is part of the next stage that will be taking place in regard to the manifesting of phenomenon. It's all part of what I mentioned when I first came on this video in respect to the New World Order and the agenda that's behind all that. Now you're going to need to read between the lines on that, and you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So my encouragement here. Now in private I would talk about this in much more depth, but here I will not. But this is where I'm going to interject and say what's important is that I encourage you to renew your mind to the purpose from which you are here and the reason why you became an incarnate here. The remembrance of your purposeful intention for being here, that you may co-create with like-minded and willed beings here so that we may be of service for this hour that in which we live. You know, me being 64 years old and going back decades, I can think about this time because I contemplated at early stages in my life when I began to observe and see the agenda and how it was moving and how it was waiting for certain things to come into order before they could make the next step. I keep holding this up. There's a reason for it. Everybody's locked into this. Virtually every single soul here is locked into that thing. They have total control now. And it's important for you to know who you really are. There's going to be decisions that you're going to make that is not going to be comfortable. And I've tried to share this with close friends of mine, and they just don't want to hear it. Because it's not so much they don't believe that, they refuse to accept it. Because their actions prove that they refuse to accept it because they think things are going to stay the same for them. And they're not. This world's changing. Everything about it is changing. This is the hour that I contemplated of being in. And the truth be told, in respect to my personal feelings on the matter, is that I'd rather not be on boots on the ground at this stage. I'm tired. I'm really wore out. I'm taking December off here for myself because it's absolutely required. I have no attachments here in this world. In the little ones that I do have, I'm only holding on with a thumbnail's grip. This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. I'm in the world, but I'm not of it. And this is the individuals that I am speaking to right now. Prepare yourself. Don't fear. There is no fear in you. There's fear in the body. There's fear in the body. But there's not fear in who you are. Fear is an artificial emotion. It's real, but it's artificial. You are the love that you've always been. That is the real you. Even if you don't feel it, and even everything is contrary around you, know that that is the truth. That is a constant. Regardless of how you feel and what your experiences or your circumstance or situation is within this world, know that. Hang on to that. And lean into that. And even more so, fall into that very aspect of self. Let go of everything else and fall into the love that you've always been. Love is the reason for the first creation, vibration, thought, intention. That's what holds everything together. And that is what allows the manipulation within manifest reality by twisted consciousness. However, this is coming to an end and is going to be restored. But it first begins with you. It first begins with me. Let's be there for one another, love one another, show through demonstration in order that the demonstration of power be displayed through our love for one another. No fear, love. Right, folks. Thank you.